Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kate, this is Diamond Painting and Dr. Pepper, and I have a new vlog for you today. I haven't vlogged in a couple of days, so I think the last thing you've seen from me was Saturday. Today is Monday, it's the 30th. Well, technically, in my opinion, it's the 29th because I haven't been to sleep yet, but by the clock, it's the 30th. It's around 2 a.m. I just got done playing some Fortnite with Charmaine and Tiffany and Casey and Angela. We had a great time. We leveled up some sprites. It was great. Before that, I was working because it was Monday, and my stepdaughter is here for a visit. She and my husband and Casey went out to dinner and brought me some because I was working, so I didn't go. But they brought me some dinner back home, and that was nice. Yesterday is when Raya got here around 5:30, and we stayed up late talking, and it was good to catch up with her because I haven't seen her in a while, and we don't really text much because she's very busy. And I am often very busy too. So when she's here, we make up for it with lots of girl talk and stuff. So it was a good time. She is learning to drive a stick shift this week. Her dad is teaching her with his car because she is now a fully trained and licensed EMT. And starting, I think, in July, she is going to be doing volunteer EMT work, and the ambulances and stuff that they drive are stick shifts. So she needed to know how to drive one. But anyway, so that's been good. I finished Alchemy of Secrets the other night. That was the book that I was reading by Stephanie Garber, who is the author of Caraval. And I noticed a lot of similarities actually between Caraval and this one, just in the way it kind of frustrated me a little bit because the main female character was really naive, and she pretty much would trust whoever she was with. And obviously, when you have different people who are all very clearly on different sides of an issue, and you're bouncing back and forth between, they're all telling her they're on her side, but she's bouncing back and forth between all these people. And as soon as she gets to another person, they're like, oh, no, you shouldn't trust that person you were with. And so she trusts the new person. And then she bounces back to the other person. And she's like, no, wait, this makes more sense. And then she's trusting that person. And I'm just like, girl. Think for yourself. I don't know. There were some extenuating circumstances, of course, and I liked the ending. I loved reading it. It was one of those books that just made me want to keep reading, but the ending did not wrap up enough things for me. It did wrap up like maybe one thing, but there was a lot more set up, and I realize it's the first book in a series, but I felt a little bit frustrated at the lack of answers we got because I'd prefer to have a little bit more closure at the end of the first book. But I will read the second one when it comes out because I really liked the whole basis of what the story was about. It was a lot of folk tales and magic is real kind of stuff, and that was great. So after I got done reading that, I received another book ready to borrow in my Libby called The Correspondent. I don't remember the author. Hold on, let me look that up. It's by Virginia Evans. And it is, I can tell it's going to break my heart. It's a whole book where you're mostly just reading letters to and from this older woman named Sybil. And she's like 73 years old-ish because she ages during the book, you know, and she's very set in her ways. She doesn't want to travel. She will tell it like it is to people. And I don't know, she's a character. I'm really enjoying her, but she's had some tragic things happen in her past. One of them is like one of my major triggers. So I was bawling my eyes out last night when I read a certain part. So I'm hoping there's not too much more of that in this book, but I have a feeling it's gonna make me cry a lot throughout because it's just really well written and really sweet and really touching. So I'm enjoying it, but man, it's a tearjerker. So there's that one that I'm reading. I have a snack here. It's a salad. I'm very excited to eat it. So I'm probably going to let you guys go so that I can go eat that. But I wanted to open the vlog and let you know that tonight, Sam finished the book club book, The Spear Cuts Through Water. and I think she was the very last one this time. Just finished it right before that, I think. I could be getting that backwards. So it was time to go ahead and spin for our new book club book. So I'll go ahead and play that footage for you now because I recorded that earlier this evening when we all had availability to do a call and spin for our next book. But yeah, that was really fun. I'm so glad that we have a new book to read. I'm really excited to move on to the next one. And yeah, I'll let you watch that and catch you later.
Hello.
Hey guys. I saw we mostly all gave it really good scores. I didn't see yours, Jessica, if you updated Goodreads yet.
I just did. I haven't given it a rating though. I really liked it when I could. I feel like I had to find times where normally I can passively listen, and I could not passively listen with this one, which is fine. But I would constantly be like, wait a minute, what just happened? I need to, we just switched plots. But then when I was getting in it and when I was in a groove, I was like, oh yeah, this is great.
I subtracted a star from my rating because of how gross it was for no reason at times.
Okay, I had that thought too. It was
yeah.
It brought up the same types of gross things over and over to a point where I was like, okay, this is getting a little weird.
Yeah.
I know.
Not just gross, but also unnecessarily depressing, I felt like in some places. The things that happened to some of the creatures. I don't know. It just made me sad in a lot of places. I liked it overall, and I thought it was really well written and stuff, and really cool to read. I liked the different style he went for with his writing.
Yeah, it's a unique story type that I haven't really seen before.
Yeah. Richard.
I completely agree. The uniqueness of writing style was top notch. I mean, it's really rare to be surprised by writing style, I feel like.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I liked that whole setup of how the story was being told and stuff.
Definitely, I literally gasped when the narrator was like, and the spear cuts through water. I was like,
I know.
Oh my God.
Me too. I was like, oh, it's all coming together. That was so good. I'm really excited to find out what's next too. Okay, so 4 is Fletcher's last pick. 6 is my last pick, and 7 or 8 would both be Jess's books. Okay, ready? Here we go. Oh, it's a Jess book.
Okay, so let's see. Number 7. Let me share my screen as well, maybe.
I'm literally gonna have to plug my phone in.
People see.
Ooh, yes.
Okay, I really don't know anything about this, but I read the description and I was like, you know what? Why not? So Lois Saunders thought marrying the right man would cure her loneliness, but as picture perfect as her husband, she is suffocating in their loveless marriage. In 1951, though unhappiness is hardly grounds for divorce, except in Reno, Nevada, at the Golden Yarrow, the most respectable of Reno's famous divorce ranches. Lois finds herself living with half a dozen other would-be divorcees all in Reno for the 6 weeks residency that is the state's only divorce requirement.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's I don't remember if it's based on a real, if that's actually what was happening in the 50s or not, but it just felt like an interesting premise. Okay, you just live in Reno for 6 weeks and then you can get divorced.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Sounds like a gay conversion camp or something.
Right.
I love stuff set in the 50s, though, because I think it's a really interesting time period. So I'm really excited to read that and see what it's like.
And, if it's a flop, it just came to me, and I was like, this looks interesting. And you know what? We could talk about it being a flop.
Yeah, totally. Well, none of us have read any of these books before, so that is a risk we take every time because we're just kind of jumping into it blind. Hey guys, it's Tuesday night now. I had a very poor night's sleep. I couldn't sleep until 8:30 a.m., which is kind of a new record for me. Just had some tummy issues and was restless. I did, however, finish last night The Correspondent by Virginia Evans. Man, that was an amazing book. I highly recommend you pick it up if you ever get the chance because it's It's one of those books that, I don't know, it feels very different from anything I've read before. And I cried several times, like I kind of predicted I would, but it was still so worth it to read. It's one of those things that makes me want to maybe even live my life differently kind of book. So yeah, definitely a 5-star read. I am probably going to go to bed a little early tonight because I'm barely hanging in there. I was able to get up at my usual time and work my usual amount of hours and get my usual amount of work done. And then I even played a little Fortnite with Charmaine and Angela. Raya is still here visiting, so we had dinner together with, the whole family and stuff, and did some chatting tonight and everything. But tomorrow is when she is leaving us. We're gonna go to a early 4th of July celebration thing at her grandma's house, and then she'll stay there after that. So it's a short visit, and I don't know when we'll see her again, but it's always so nice to see her. Anyway, I am currently listening to the first section of the new book club book for the book club with Jessica and the kids, and it's called The Divorcees. You guys probably saw us spin it already. We're going to do 5 sections of 10 chapters each. This book is 50 chapters, so it works out perfectly. So I am almost done with the first 10 chapters, and yeah, it's interesting so far. It's set in the 50s, and it's about this ranch that women could go to when they are in the process of getting a divorce. And I like stories that are set in different time periods like that. So yeah, we're just getting into it so far, but looking forward to reading more. Tonight is the last night of June, so before I can diamond paint again, I need to take pictures and footage of where my kits are currently at for my month in review, which will be out this weekend, and then this vlog will be out the weekend after that, which is good because it'll hopefully make it a longer one. My vlogs are so short if they're 1 week, but we're going to do the month in review footage tomorrow so that I can then diamond paint after work, hopefully. I spun Desert Date to work on next. I will let you go for tonight and check in tomorrow as I'm kind of falling asleep in my chair. It is Friday, and Casey and I are headed down to see Sam, who is going to leave tomorrow to go to Wales and do her internship over there for a month. And so, yeah, we wanted to make sure we saw her before she left. She's going to stay at Cardiff University in the dorms there, and it's just, I wish I could go visit her. That's such a cool opportunity that she gets, but we wanted to make sure we saw her first. So we're headed down to do that. I am excited to go to a restaurant that she recommended, which is an Italian restaurant, and they have some interesting looking food there, so I'm excited to see what that's like. But yeah, I'm sure we'll check in along the way. Anyway, I haven't vlogged in a few days, but Wednesday night we went over to a family member's house for a fireworks party. Their community does their own fireworks show every year, kind of before the 4th of July. So we went there to drop off my stepdaughter, who had been staying with us for a few days, and she was gonna go back home after that. So we dropped her off and had a nice little party and watched some fireworks. And then mostly I've just been working and reading and stuff like that. So that is the update for now, but I'll check in again later.
2, let it.
I got it.
3, 2, let it.
Sam is the reigning. Hey friends, happy 4th. Oh, it's time for an update. So yesterday, Casey and I went down to see Sam and say goodbye before she goes on her big trip to Wales, which I've been getting some updates, and she was in Colorado for her layover. She left at 5 a.m. this morning, but she had to be at the airport at 2:30, so I don't think she slept, so I hope she's getting some rest. But anyway, we met up with her yesterday, and we went to a cool little Italian restaurant. We sat outside. I had the gnocchi with oxtail sugo. Never had oxtail before. It was pretty good. Sam had the rigatoni, and she let me try it. It was very tasty. And Casey had a margarita pizza, which he actually liked, which is great because he's usually pretty picky, and margarita's pretty different from like a regular cheese pizza, but he liked it, so that was good. And we went to an art walk after that, and that was fun. Just wandered the booths and looked at all the wares. I was tempted by a lot of things, but I ended up not buying anything. I always feel bad. I don't know. When I go to artists' booths and I talk to them and everything, but then I don't buy anything, I always feel really bad. So I love going to art fairs and things like that, but I also don't because I feel guilty if I don't buy anything. Anyway, we had a great time, and then we went back to Sam's house and we played some games. They have a Beyblades game, which I've heard the word, but I never really knew what it was. But it's like these little tops that fight each other in this little arena, and that was fun. So we played that for a bit, and then we played a round of Mario Party Jamboree, which I had never played before. We have Mario Party on the Switch, but I didn't know there was a Jamboree version. So that was fun to play. It was brand new to me, and we had a good time. Sam gathered as many coins as she could during our game and ended up with like over 400 coins, which is a lot. Over the course of the game, she had like 556 total. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. But Casey ended up winning overall because he had the most stars. So it was a good time. And then after that, we said goodbye and drove over to surprise Fletcher and give him some of our home-picked blueberries because he bakes, and so he likes to use blueberries in blueberry muffins or blueberry coffee cake or scones. And so maybe we can get some baked goods out of it. But we didn't tell him we were coming because a couple weeks ago, he came and surprised me at my door, and I thought that was really fun. So I was going to return the favor. But by the time we got there, it was like 10 p.m. and we were knocking on the door and he wasn't answering. So we checked to see if his car was there, and it was. So I called him. I was like, "Hey, what you doing?" And he kind of whispered back. He's like, "I'm trying to be quiet because someone's knocking at my door and it's really late and we don't know who it is." I felt so bad. I was like, "It's me, open the door." So we got to say hi to them, and I got to see my Cheerio, Fletcher's cat Cheerio. I miss him. He used to live here when Fletcher lived here, and he's my buddy. And their other cat, Puff, we didn't see at all because there were people setting off fireworks. It was the 3rd, but people were setting off fireworks anyway, and Puff was freaking out, so she was hiding somewhere. But yeah, we sat and visited for a little while and talked, and then we drove home. So that was a fun trip, but by the end of the evening, I was really tired from the driving and just being out all day. So I mostly came home and just went to bed. So now it's Saturday, and I woke up at like noon, and I feel pretty good about that because I got lots of sleep because I went to bed early. So I'm hoping I can maybe use this jumpstart to kind of move my schedule little by little so that by the time I leave for the retreat, I'm used to getting up a little bit earlier. That's my hope. But anyway, today it's the 4th of July. We're not doing anything to celebrate. I'm not really in the mood to celebrate the country right now. But my sister-in-law is going to come over and we're going to hang out. I don't know if we're going to craft or if we're going to watch. We've been watching the show Medium together, and we took a really long break in between the last time and now, but we might watch a little more of that. Oh, it's such a good show. So that's going to happen in a bit, and I'm trying to figure out how much I can film before she gets here because I need to film my month in review and edit that today to have posted tomorrow. But I don't know how long she'll be staying. I also don't know how late I'll be up. So things are kind of up in the air right now, but I do want to get that filmed. I have to do all of my gathering, before I film it, like going to see how many books I read and what they were, and then going to see what all my purchases were and downloading all that information so that I can have it ready to talk about. So I'll probably do that because that way, if I get interrupted while I'm doing that, it's not a big deal. If I get interrupted when I'm filming, then it can kind of interrupt the flow and things can look different when I come back and stuff. So I'll do the prep work now and then later I'll film. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a good 4th if you celebrate. And if you don't, I hope you're having a good Saturday. And I will check in again later. Like part of your necklace.
I know. She's like, how can I be? And she's really like, look, she's got herself wrapped.
Oh my God. She is all around. It's later on Saturday night and we had a great time today. Katie and I did a lot of crafting. She did one of my layered like room stickers where you lay down the back stuff first and then layer over it to make a scene. And she did a great job. Those are difficult to do. And there was definitely some frustration and some figuring out as we went. But yeah, it was still really fun. And she finished the whole thing. I finished 2 sections of Desert Date. And then we watched some Medium. And after that, my husband barbecued some hot dogs and hamburgers, and Katie's husband, Adam, my husband's brother, came over and we all ate with the boys, Preston and Casey, and then their family left and I filmed and edited my month in review and got that scheduled for tomorrow. So that was good. And then I diamond painted some more. I worked on The Moon Thief, big section of The Moon Thief, finished off the second row, and listened to Tailored Realities by Brandon Sanderson. It's his collection of short stories that came out back in December, and I haven't read it yet. There's a lot of the short stories in there that I have read before, but there's a few that I haven't, so it's been fun to start listening to those. I'm about 24% of the way through, and as always with Sanderson, I'm really enjoying it. There's some experimental stuff in there that he really didn't have a place to put other than a collection like this. So it's kind of fun to read those. And he puts a little postscript after each story and talks about how he came up with it or why it's in there. And that's really fun. So it's about 4 a.m. and I'm going to go to bed. Still a little bit earlier than I would normally. I'm trying to slowly move my schedule back for the retreat. So I'm crossing my fingers that I can wake up around noon tomorrow because that'll be 8 hours-ish of sleep. And that's a pretty good start as far as moving my schedule goes. I still get one more day of weekend, which I'm excited about. Having Friday off was really nice, even though the whole thing was taken up by driving and visiting with my kids. It's still like an extra day that I wasn't working, so now I get the full 2-day weekend to just chill at home and do fun stuff like we did today. So I don't really have any plans tomorrow other than maybe diamond painting and doing some chores around the house. So yeah, looking forward to another relaxing Sunday. I hope you guys are doing well this weekend, and I will check in again probably tomorrow. Hey, it's Sunday now. I just finished a section on Desert Date, which finished off another row, so that was exciting. Before that, I did a section on The Moon Thief. And before that, I was doing a lot of chores. But now I am ready to spin again, I think. It is, what time is it? It's 10:30, so it's still pretty early. I also edited this vlog up until this point, so I'm feeling pretty good about how productive I've been today. However, it is very hot in here, and I don't know how many of you are here a year ago, but a year ago we had to pay someone to come fix our AC that was having an issue. And then over the weekend, this weekend, our AC stopped cooling our house, and it had a bunch of the pipes were all covered in ice and everything. So my husband tried, looking it up on the internet as to what might be wrong, and he did the fix that was recommended, but it didn't work, unfortunately. And of course, that was like Friday night, so we've had to go over the weekend, really hot weekend here, without AC, and we've got all the fans on and stuff, but when I have these overhead lights on, this room gets pretty hot, so I keep having to take breaks from diamond painting to do other things. That's why I was editing earlier, which, I mean, that's good that I got that done, but I'd like to just be able to relax and have my weekend the way I want it. But unfortunately, the heat in here is making that pretty tough. Even though it's 10:30 p.m., it's still pretty warm in here. And I don't get warm easily, so it's just hot. So I'm going to spin again, but I don't know if I can diamond paint anymore right this second. I might play some video games or something. but I thought I'd spin with you guys. So let's do that. I did do a switch up of the way things are weighted on the spinny wheel right now because I want to focus more on my Year of Disney kit, Desert Date. So I weighted that the highest at ×3. And then Office and The Moon Thief are both ×2, and Chocolate Dream is ×1. So let's see what we get. Ooh, the Moon Thief. Okay. So I will be moving some stuff around here so I can do my next section on that one. It's been bouncing back and forth between that one and Desert Date, and I'm so ready to do some squares because both these kits are round and I'm missing squares right now, but we're going to follow the wheel like we always do. So I will get that one out and then probably just let it sit out and do something else for a bit so I can turn off these overhead lights. We have left a message with the people who fixed our AC last year, because if they come back and find that it was something to do with their last fix that didn't last, hopefully that means they will fix it cheaper or, what have you. But we haven't heard back from them yet because it's the weekend. So hoping we hear back from them tomorrow. Hey guys, it is Monday night. I'm just recording a quick update on my phone as I'm letting the dogs out because it is late and I'm gonna go to bed, but it's a Monday, so pretty busy at work, and then played some Fortnite with Tiffani and Charmaine and Len after work, and that was fun. We had an update on our air conditioner today. The guy came out and looked at it and said that there's a leak in one of the coils and that he has to quote us for a new coil and some new refrigerant because the refrigerant has been leaking. So from what we can tell online, because he said the quote won't come back till tomorrow at the earliest and maybe even longer, it's gonna be anywhere from like $2,000 to $4,500. And I was wrong. It's actually been 2 years since they fixed the AC. 1 year ago they fixed the furnace. So it's something every year with this thing. And the part that we're struggling with is that this system is apparently at like the older end of AC systems, furnace units, whatever. So like, do we want to put $4,500 into a unit that we're going to keep having to fix that's out of warranty, or would it make more sense to replace it? But then if you replace it, that's a lot more. So it's just a struggle right now. And in the meantime, we don't have AC because he said he could put some more refrigerant in, but basically that it would be leaking out the whole time, and it might last a couple of days or it might last a couple of weeks depending on how bad the leak is. It would be like $300, and if we put that in and then fixed it, then like we're kind of wasting some of that money, So like it would be better to just fix it, but we don't know how long it's going to take them to quote us, and we don't know how long it would take them to come out and get the fix done. So we've got all the windows open, we've got the fans going, but then when I go to bed, like late, but before my husband gets up, I close all the windows because we don't really want to just leave our windows open while no one's awake. And then he goes to work and he doesn't want to leave the windows open while I'm asleep either. So by the time I wake up, it's pretty hot in here. And it's not supposed to get much cooler this week. So these things always happen when it's hot outside because that's when you notice that they're not working right? So what a pain. Anyway, that's my update for today. I guess I will keep you guys updated as I know more. Hey guys, it is Tuesday night. After work, I got about this much of this section of the Moon Thief done. It is later than I wanted to go to bed now, but I don't want to stop. But I think I'm going to anyway because I really should. I really should go to bed. I'm trying to move my schedule back for this retreat, and so far I haven't been super successful. I mean, I've moved it back to where I'm getting up at noon, but it needs to move back a lot more. So it's like 4:25 right now, and I'm not super tired. I'd much rather finish this section. It's bothering me that it's only partly done, but it was a really confetti heavy section, to be fair. I'm also having wild and crazy thoughts, and feeling like I'm on the verge of doing something I might regret later, which is kitting up some more stuff. Okay, so this week I received most of the kits from the anniversary drop that I ordered. Some had arrived earlier, but the rest of them arrived this week. One of them I have been wanting to kit up as soon as I got it, which is Fast Food Lover by Mrs. Butter D. But I'm also thinking of taking that one to the retreat. So I'm trying to decide if I want to kit it up into the Desert Date Elizabeth Ward tray after I finish Desert Date, because either I'll finish Desert Date before the retreat and then I'll kit up Fast Food Lover and take that to the retreat, or I will not quite finish Desert Date before the retreat and then I'll take Desert Date and then kit down once I finish it there and then kit up Fast Food Lover if I get through Desert Date while I'm there. So I'd bring both. The reason I want to start Fast Food Lover is because it was the kit that I kind of wanted to do for the Be Happy event that's this month, that's being hosted by Natalie and Tiffani. And if I wait until the retreat to start it, then I'm only participating in like 1 week of the event. And also, I am interested in kitting up a kit for the Fan Art Fest that starts in August and the Sailor Summer event that's in August. I think it's August, yeah. And so the Fan Art Fest is by Elisa and the Sea of Diamonds. And Sailor Summer is hosted by Sophie and Mackenzie over at Dragon Wing Diamonds. And I really want to support their events. And I have a kit that would actually work for both. Since Sailor Moon counts under fan art, I would be doing, Sailor Moon fan art, and it would count for both events. So that's my current thought. And that's only 2 more kits added to the whip pile. But my worry is that I will get overwhelmed with the amount of whips I have without any finishes. But at the same time, like, that's not that many more. And 26 for 26, that event that's going on this year that Nicole over at Shire Shenanigans kind of started, some people are taking that in the vein of just kit up a bunch of kits and put drills down on them. And so that's kind of tempting to take part in too, in whatever way that I can. I can't kit up 26 kits, but I just don't have enough storage for that. But I could participate in some way if I just add more whips and take it in the spirit of that. My drawback to this is that once Drills and Chills starts, most years I set aside everything else I'm working on and just work on Drills and Chills kits for the whole 2-month span of Drills and Chills. But I won't be doing that this year anyway, because I'm doing Year of Disney. And so I will also have my Disney kit going at the same time. So since I'm not going to be fully doing just Drills and Chills kits only, should I just keep the rest of my whips going and have maybe 1 Drills and Chills kit? Usually I do like 2 or 3. So I don't know. It might be fun to kind of shake it up this year. And then I was thinking I could maybe, instead of just doing my whip wheel section by section like I have been, I could either do like 1 row of each kit and rotate like Katie is doing over at Diamonds and Washi. Boy, I'm naming a lot of people in this clip. I'm going to have to put a lot of tags in my description. Look in the description for tags of all these people I'm naming and go follow them because they're all lovely. But I could either do that or something that a lot of other people do, which looks kind of fun, is to have 2 whip wheels, one for spinning to see which whip will be next, and the second one for spinning to see how many sections of that whip you do before you spin for the next whip. And I'm kind of leaning, like if I did this, I'd be leaning that direction because that sounds more chaotic and fun to me. So I don't know. What do you guys think? It could be fun, but it could also be overwhelming and I could not have any finishes for quite some time. But it's also something that I haven't ever done before, so I could see how I like it. Anyway, those are all thoughts going through my head right now as it's 4 a.m. on a Tuesday. I don't know. I'm torn. I'll think about it some more. I'll talk to some friends about it. I'll see what they say. But rather than finishing this section like I want to, I'm going to go ahead and go to bed. So I hope you guys are having a good Tuesday, and I'll chat with you in the next clip. Hey guys, it is Thursday night, I believe. Yeah, Thursday night. I am exhausted. It is almost 4 a.m. Long day. We had someone come in and quote us for a new HVAC system because it would be around $5,000 to fix what's currently wrong with our current one, and it's at end of life. So chances are we'd have to replace it very soon either way. So spending $5,000 to fix it right now is just kind of a waste of money, but having to replace it is crappy because it's so expensive. It's so expensive. But adulting, I guess. They actually got us in tomorrow, so they're going to be here bright and early in about 4 hours from now, and they're going to be working all day here to get that replaced. And hopefully by tomorrow night for the weekend, we should have AC again. I don't know how much sleep I'll get because they're going to be here right about halfway through my sleep cycle, and I don't know how loud it's going to be. They're going to be doing most of the stuff like upstairs, and the master bedroom in this house is downstairs. So there's a chance I could still sleep through it. But I don't know. I'm not sure. So that's happening. I just got done working because I had to spend part of the day with the quote guy. He was here for 2 hours, like measuring and talking to me about options and all that stuff. And then there was some urgent stuff that came through that I needed to get done today. So that kept me working a bit later than I had expected. Hopefully I can take tomorrow off a little early to make up for how much I worked today. And tomorrow's Friday, so that'd be great. And then Saturday is my husband's birthday. So he wants to get a new barbecue because our old one is falling apart. And again, would cost too much to fix it, more than it's worth. So that's what he wants for his birthday, is a new barbecue, and he wants some Olive Garden. So I'll probably go get that for him. For some reason, Olive Garden doesn't show up on any of the delivery apps, at least here. So we don't get it very often. We probably wouldn't anyway because it's kind of spendy, but we can't get it delivered. So it's kind of a special occasion when we get Olive Garden because someone has to go get it and it's across town. And he doesn't like to go places anymore. After the advent of DoorDash and COVID happened, he was like, oh, I never have to go to a restaurant again, pretty much. It's very rare that he'll go to one. So it's his birthday. I will go pick him up some Olive Garden. Anyway, I haven't been reading too much. I am partway through, I think like 40% of the way through Tailored Realities by Brandon Sanderson, which is a collection of short stories and novellas that are not tied to his Cosmere world. Really enjoying it. So far, a couple of them I've already read. I did skip one because I had reread it recently and didn't need to reread it again. But the other one that I had read before, it had been a long time since I read it. So I went ahead and reread it. And I'm really enjoying it. As always, I love his writing style. I love his stories. Some of these, like one of the short stories in here was a like flash fiction challenge. It was supposed to be less than 500 words. And so that was really interesting to read. Just like how much of a story can you get across in less than 500 words? And I thought it was really good. So yeah, having a fun time with that, but I haven't read it at all recently because I've been working. And I did play some Fortnite the other night with Tiffani and Charmaine and Len and Angela and stuff like that. So that was fun. And then Tiffani and I watched another couple episodes of The Amazing Digital Circus. We're about halfway through it now. I think she's liking it okay, enough to keep going at least. But they get better as they go on, so I'm excited to watch the rest of them. This is only my second watch through too, so I am wearing my Amazing Digital Circus shirt today that I got from their movie merch drop. So that's what reminded me to talk about that, because it was the other night, I think, when we did that. I don't know, the days are running together. I'm so tired and so hot. Actually, I'm not that hot now because it's nighttime now, so it gets cool in the nighttime. But during the day, I definitely have noticed myself being a little more tired, and I think being warmer causes that. So, because when I'm cozy and warm, I just want to go to sleep. Some people like to sleep when they're, cold. I'm the opposite. I go to sleep best when I'm nice and cozy. So I think it's making me tired to be hotter than usual during the day. But I know that the rest of my family is struggling a lot more than I am because they get hot easier than I do. And one of the benefits of this new system is that it is supposed to be able to better regulate the temperature downstairs versus upstairs, because what happens currently in our current system is that the thermostat is upstairs. And so if you set it to 75, it'll be 75 upstairs, but it'll be like 65 down here. Maybe not that cold, but it'll be a lot colder down here and I'll be freezing. So what ends up happening is that we have to set it so that it's kind of in between. Like it's a little too warm for them upstairs and still a little too cold for me down here. So we're hoping this new system will be able to handle that a lot better. They say it's supposed to, so fingers crossed. Keep your fingers crossed for us. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a good Thursday. I am looking forward to tomorrow being Friday and a weekend ahead. It's less than 2 weeks until the Crafters Paradise retreat. I'm so excited and nervous, mostly nervous for the travel part. I always worry something's going to go wrong and I'm not going to get where I'm supposed to be going. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not flying Spirit Airlines again this time, so hopefully won't run into some of the issues I've had in the past where they keep delaying flights and canceling flights and stuff. So fingers crossed. Lucy is in here sleeping and she's such a good girl. But anyway, now I'm just rambling. So I'm going to let you go and I will chat with you guys again probably tomorrow. All right, it is Saturday now. It's actually my husband's birthday today, but let's start with yesterday because I didn't get a chance to update you guys yesterday, but we did have the people come in to replace our HVAC system, and they were here from around 8 o'clock to around 5. They did replace the whole thing in one day, which we actually did get 2 quotes, like 2 people come out and look at it, and the first people were saying it was going to take them 2 days. So we were happy that the ones that we went with only took the one. So they came out and did their thing, and they did wake me up when they got here, but I was able to get back to sleep, thankfully, and got a pretty good amount of sleep, I guess, for what was happening. They were real nice. They got the job done, and then they told us as they were leaving that even though the original guy who gave us the quote, he had looked at our electrical and said that what we had would be fine because it was already, our electrical was already providing power to the same size unit. I think they call it a 3.5 ton unit is what is being used in our house. And they replaced it with the 3.5 ton. And so they said, yeah, this should be fine. But the people who installed it, after looking at our electrical, said that actually our wire looked bigger than it was because it has like a larger sheath around the wire, but the wire itself is too small to work for this size unit. So they're going to need to have an electrician come out and redo the wiring. And they were like, oh, we could have him come out Monday. And I'm like, but they need to get into our crawl space to run the wire through the house underneath. And I am going to be sleeping unless I get up like super early because they want to come out in the morning. And our crawl space is in our master bedroom closet of all places. So I can't, be sleeping in the bedroom and have them like tromp through the bedroom as I'm sleeping to get into the master bedroom closet to fix this. And not only that, but the crawl space is underneath a shelf that I use for clothes because of the way our closet is set up. So that means I have to clear off the whole shelf and clear out that area and move the shelf so that they can get down into the crawl space. And I'm just like, I'm so annoyed because we thought we were going to be done after Friday. We were like relieved. Like, luckily they said we could use the AC over the weekend and it wasn't going to be like a safety risk or anything. It just can't be used long term that way, apparently. So we were going to be fine over the weekend to use it. But then today, today is my husband's birthday, just as an aside. Today, partway through the day, we noticed it was getting a little warm in here, even though we had the AC set to a certain temperature. Matt was like, wait a minute, why am I so hot? Well, so he tried to look at the temperature on the app, and it said it wasn't connected. And then he went to where the thermostat was to check that, and it was completely dark and wouldn't turn on. So we had to call them and be like, hey, this was installed yesterday, and now it's completely dark and it's not working. And like, oh, okay, we'll get someone out there tomorrow, which we were like, okay, great. We'll spend another night without AC. Jeez. After we just paid, guys, it was so much. We just paid so much to put a new one in. Anyway, so we got that scheduled for tomorrow, and then a little bit later, it came on again on its own and started working again. But we're going to keep the appointment because we don't know what's going on, and clearly something's going on, and who's to say it's not going to crap out again before tomorrow, and then we'll need an appointment anyway. So we felt like we might as well just keep it. But I'm so frustrated because you guys know it can never go smooth. It can never just be, yep, we fixed it, done, bye, okay. You know, it's always, we fixed it. Oh, no, we didn't. Oh, look, it's broken again. You know, I don't know why we have the worst luck with these things, but it seriously drives me crazy, especially when it's like it's Matt's birthday and we shouldn't have to be dealing with this today. Not after paying that much money, I swear. But anyway, so that's what's going on with the AC. I am wearing a hoodie because since it's working, it is now colder in here than I prefer. But it's still not as cold as it used to get when we had the temperature set to a certain, this certain temperature. So I'm hoping that it's doing the thing we wanted it to do, where it was like, okay, the upstairs is going to be cooler, but the downstairs won't get as cool. We're still playing around with that to see what the best temperature is to set that at. But yeah, it's Matt's birthday today, so I woke up and started doing some chores around the house that I knew that he would want done so that he wouldn't do them. Because if I wait too long, then he does them. I got up at 10:30, which is very early for me, and started working on chores. And then I was getting ready to go get Olive Garden like I said I was going to. And right around then, my dad was messaging us and being like, oh, hey, if you're up, I can bring over Matt's gift that I got him. And he actually lives very close to the Olive Garden. So I said, well, I'm up, but I'm getting ready to go to Olive Garden to pick up some food for Matt. And he was like, oh, I can pick that up. So that was really nice of him. And I offered to get him lunch too, but he's on this diet thing, so he didn't want any. But he picked it up for us and brought it over, and Matt had his tour of Italy. I had the limited time mushroom ravioli, and Casey likes the kids' meals, so he got one benefit of ordering online and picking it up to bring home is that he can get kids' meals because they're supposed to be for kids under 12, right? So he gets a kids' meal pepperoni pizza that's like, personal size. And then he gets the kids' meal chicken strips. And then he gets grapes with both of those. So he's got grapes and a pizza and some chicken strips. And the breadsticks, of course. He loves the breadsticks. So that was lunch. And then for dinner, we had leftovers and played some 10,000 dice game because that was Matt's request that we do at dinner time. It was just Casey and Matt and me. Oh, and earlier Matt's mom brought over a cheesecake from a local bakery. Cheesecake is Matt's favorite, and she got him like a whole half a cheesecake, and it's huge. So he's very excited about that, but he might need some help eating that, and I could volunteer as tribute. But yeah, hopefully he had a good birthday, even though we did have that little snafu with the new AC. I think overall it was pretty good. He did a lot outside today because he wanted to be, the weather was really nice, so he wanted to be outside, and so we picked blueberries, and he was pressure washing our path out there because it had a lot of moss on it and stuff. I can't stop this man from tinkering and fiddling with stuff. Even on his birthday, he can't just sit and relax. He's always got to be doing something around the house or outside. He mowed the lawn and did some weeding, and Casey volunteered to go out and help with that, which was nice. I didn't even say anything. He did that on his own, so that was cool. And then Matt worked a little bit on his next upcoming stained glass projects. He is adding to our Disney stained glass triptych that's going to be in our living room where we put the Lion King one. The next one he's making is a Sorcerer Mickey one that looks really cool, so I'm really excited for him to work on that one. And then he's making a second lamp shade to go in the hallway. He made one already that's like a dragonfly on all four sides, and now he's going to make one that's like, I think 2 of the sides are going to be a frog on a lily pad, and the other side is going to be a koi fish, so that'll be cool. And I did some laundry and some chores, and then I finished editing this video up till right before this point. Now I thought I'd give you guys a last little update here while I work on my section of Desert Date that I spun. So I did end up deciding I haven't decided fully yet what I'm going to do about starting new whips. I'm still thinking about it, but in the meantime, I did set up my new spinny wheel, which it's like the second one. So I'm going to spin for which whip to work on, and then I'm going to spin this to see whether I do 1 section, 2 sections, 3 sections, finish off a row. Like if I'm partway through a row, this would be finish off the row, and then do a whole row. So that would be like, say I was here. If I was to do a whole row, I would end up down here and do all of that to here. But if it was finish a row, I would just finish the rest of this row, if that makes sense. So I got all excited to spin the first time, and I spun Desert Date as my whip, and then I spun the wheel to see how many sections I would do, and it landed on 1 section, like I always do. So for this kit particularly, though, there's like a partial section on the edge, so I always just lump that in with the next section. So it looks a little bit bigger than 1 section, but it is just counted as 1 when I'm working on this kit. So I'm excited to spin again after I finish this and see if maybe I get more than 1 section of the next thing. Who knows? But yeah, that'll be something fun and different to try out. I haven't read any more of Tailored Realities because I haven't been diamond painting until now, since the last time I read it. And that's when I usually do my audiobook reading, is when I'm diamond painting. But I expect I will have more time to do that over this weekend. It's Saturday night now. It is about 10:20 and Matt is in bed, and I am kind of free to do whatever I want for the rest of the evening now. So I'm definitely going to be doing some diamond painting. I haven't played Fortnite in several days because I've been too busy with work and other things. So I might play some Fortnite because there's a new sprite type and I don't have any yet, and I want some. But right now I'd rather diamond paint. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and time-lapse the rest of this for you guys and stop yapping at you, because I think that's about all I have to update on right now. And then I'll probably, once I finish this section off, I'll probably say a quick goodbye and close out the vlog so I can get it posted for you guys tomorrow. All right, I got that section done, so I thought it would be fun to spin and see what's next. So here we're going to spin for the next whip. The Moon Thief again. It keeps going back and forth between these two. All right, and let's see how many sections of the Moon Thief we're going to do. Okay, ready? Here we go. One section. I might as well not even have this second wheel. Okay, one section in the Moon Thief it is. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go here. I did make a few more purchases today for the retreat. I'm so excited. I got a few last minute things for packaging up my Princess Pal gifts for the Secret Santa type gift exchange that we're doing. And I got a power tower, which has like lots of different plugs you can plug in, and it charges your phone, and that way you can just plug in one thing and it should be able to power everything I need, because I'm bringing a little like a light to help me see, because I don't know what the lighting's going to be like and I have trouble seeing if I'm not in my studio lighting. So I'm going to bring a light and plug it into that power tower, and then I can charge my phone if I need to, because I will probably need to. Yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, some new jeans. I bought some new jeans to wear because I don't actually have that many pairs of jeans since I lost weight a couple years ago, and so I need to start building up my supply of those again now that my weight has kind of stabilized. So I bought a pair of jeans. I'll see if I like it, and if I do, I will probably buy more of the same kind. That's what I like to do, is just like have a lot of the same ones that I know fit and fit well and wear those. So tomorrow I am going to go to my friend Jess's house because she has a couple of larger suitcases that she said I could borrow one if I wanted to. And I'm hoping that one of the ones she has will work for like the largest size diamond painting box. I don't 100% know if I'll be coming home with that many of the largest size of diamond painting box, but I've heard that it's a good idea to be prepared. So we'll see. I'm probably going to bring a couple to like test and see if they fit in the suitcase. I don't really want to have to buy a new suitcase, especially with our recent purchase of a new HVAC machine. So I'm hoping I can just borrow a suitcase and bring it back to her and call it good. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's tomorrow. I'm going to let you guys go for now so I can finish up this video and get it posted for tomorrow. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, everybody.